going on, everybody? It's Jay, Trey, and Doc from Retcon Comics here to break y'all off with your pop culture fix as we blend it with social commentary that relates to us in our everyday walk of life. If you are already a follower, thank you so much for your support. It is definitely appreciated. If you have not yet, click the like, comment, subscribe buttons, all notifications. Do that. Do yourself that service and go ahead and subscribe to the content. We do keep it fresh every chance we get. And we're going to go ahead and just jump straight into it. For this episode is inspired by the latest Superman movie, which was written and directed by James Gunn, that came out last weekend. But if you were like me and Trey, you were privy to an early screening thanks to Amazon Prime last Tuesday. And we're going to go ahead and just jump off with the top 3 Superman. Now, this category is based off the Superman actors from the TV shows and from the movies themselves. And that also includes the animated shows too. Now, as far as my top 3 is concerned, I'm going to just start with number 3. And we're going to go ahead and pivot to Tyler. Your last name I can't pronounce, bro. Please forgive me. Tyler Hoechlin?
Hoechlin, I think, or something like that.
Tyler Hoechlin from Superman and Lois. My boy did a great job portraying Superman and Clark Kent, because you can't just have Superman without Clark Kent. And I realized that, and I was brought to the error of my ways thanks to these gentlemen here in regards of Henry Cavill, because as you know, I championed for him for a long time. But then when I saw some more examples of how the duality of Clark Kent and Superman are supposed to be balanced, then that really made me shift my my personal preferences on who I feel is a great Superman overall. And Tyler definitely did a great job in the Superman and Lois show. We got to see Clark in a different light that we weren't used to, which was as a father, a father of two sons, and of course with Lois, as it should be. And it played really good as far as being able to be that character who stands for that truth and justice. And then, there's also a little bit of levity there, but we also see him struggling, into his personal battles. We see him go through things that you can't punch your way through, right? Because Superman can't just be about punching ways through and all that. He has to be able to aspire to reach, to touch. And, this show definitely did a great job with it. My number 2 would be David Corenswet. Yes, he is newest entry in my top 3, because we did get to see a good bit of that duality with Clark and Superman, in my opinion. And I really enjoyed the hokiness of it. He was very corny, he was a cornball, but Superman is kind of that, to be honest, in my opinion. He balances that well, and it's good to see that, as opposed to Henry Cavill Superman, who was definitely dark and brooding, which was more of a Batman character trait than the Superman trait, in my opinion. But it definitely was lighthearted. And then you have this guy who went above and beyond to preserve life. I mean, the dude even tried to save a squirrel. He did. Like, he saved a squirrel getting smushed. And, I guess we should have said spoilers in case you've been living under a rock and you ain't seen the movie. He also conveyed concern over the kaiju monster, of trying to see if there's a better way to deal with him. And then we see, of course, what happens with the Justice Gang and how they dealt with the monster. And you could tell Superman was really bothered by that. And then we saw the emotion coming out of him when one of his robots was, looking to shut down and all of that. And it was more about that being the connection to his home planet, of course. But I really enjoyed David's portrayal. And of course, number 1 for me, and that's never going to change, is Tom Welling in Smallville. This might be a biased opinion of that, because you got to understand that this show had 10 seasons to really have character development for who Clark was, starting as a teenager all the way until adulthood and eventually becoming Superman. We got to see the struggles of isolation that he dealt with, because he couldn't tell anybody his secret. We saw the damage that those secrets were doing to the people around him that he loved. I mean, at one point it became kind of a soap opera with season 6, where he drove Lana into the arms of Lex Luthor. But I digress on that. That's probably my least favorite season. But overall, like, we got to see Clark, become the man he's supposed to be, all the faults, all the mistakes, but then of all the righteousness that came along. And I have yet to see anybody top that. So that's my top 3. when it comes to my favorite Superman. I'm gonna pivot to Trey to see if he got anybody different on that list, or if it's the same, or maybe the numbering is different. What you got?
Yeah, so I looked at this question. I looked at it I don't want to say differently, but differently.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's about the characterization of Superman, right? Because honestly, if the character is written the right way, I would imagine most people could play it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have to think about it in a way that, like, from a how did the characterization hit me kind of
Mm-hmm.
standpoint. And so my number 3 is actually, it's kind of a tie.
All right.
It's a tie between Superman from the animated series,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
voiced by Tim Daly.
Yeah.
And I give this guy a lot of flack.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I didn't like the characterization, I felt like there was potential. Henry Cavill.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you do give him a lot of flack. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but yeah, I give him a lot of flack, but I do think the potential was there, right? And so he's my number 3. My number 2 is probably recency bias, but I really, really enjoyed David Corenswet as Superman. For a lot of the same reasons that you said. Now, I will be honest, I don't see Superman as I don't think it's a duality. I actually think it's a triality, right? Because Clark Kent is he's represented by 3 distinct personalities, right? So there's a difference between Smallville Clark Kent and Metropolis Clark Kent, right? There's a difference.
Okay.
How he is at home with his family, how he is at home with, Mine Pa Kent is completely different with how he is with the people in the Daily Planet and the people of Metropolis.
Except for Lois.
Right. Except for Lois. And then third is he's Superman, right?
Right.
So, and so I thought there was a really good distinction between those 3 personalities of Superman.
Okay.
And then for the same reason, and then mix in some nostalgia of what I actually grew up with, my number 1 is absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, Christopher Reeve. Right? Because he was the first time I saw Superman on screen. I was introduced to it when I was a little kid. My brother actually introduced it to me. And I think that if I had to make a distinction between what David Corenswet was as Superman versus what Christopher Reeve was as Superman, Christopher Reeve Superman had a confidence that I think is key to Superman. You got to have a confidence about you, right? David Corenswet, I think, did a great job, and he was saving everybody, and he was, he loved humanity, and he was there for people, and he didn't want to see people die, and he didn't want to see people hurt. And we saw him save people and creatures and squirrels and dogs and the whole nine. But I credit it, I don't want to say faulted on, but I credit it to the fact that he's still a young Superman, right? He's only 3 years into being Superman. Yeah. And so he didn't have that confidence. We saw a vulnerable Superman, an emotionally vulnerable Superman, particularly when, it turns out that the message from his Kryptonian parents was different, right?
Hold your mule, Doc. Hold your mule.
So that's my top 3. That's my top 3.
All right, Doc, we're gonna shoot it over your way, man. What's your top 3 Superman?
Tom Welling, Cavill, Christopher Reeves. I can elaborate, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about. All right. I'll do it. Tom, and the only reason he's 3 is because we never really got a chance to see him as Superman, even though we did. He did the super feats, but we never got to see him fly, put on a cape or whatever. But I always wanted him to be on the big screen. And I could potentially have put your Tyler guy in it, but I didn't give that show a chance. I never gave it a chance, and then I heard great things about it, and it's over. I'm like, it's just past. I don't have time to watch it, but I heard some really good things about that show. So he potentially could have been in the running. But just Tom Welling, that young man at the time looked like Superman to me.
Absolutely.
And you know, just watching him and the growth and everything, it was just great. So he is up there with me. And I do respect the fact that they were like, you're never gonna see him fly.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna see him what's that. And they held true to that pretty much until the very last episode. That was perfect. All right. But then you have Henry Cavill, just because I think regardless of the, you know, all of the people talking about the darkness, whatever, you know, he was the next best thing. I think he embodied Superman really well. I don't know if he necessarily pulled off the quirkiness of Clark at all. And what you do. And I'm going to touch on this potentially later, where some of the issues I had with some of the other side characters, like the Kents. There's this one comment where Martha actually taught him how to be unassuming and how to basically disappear right in front of people. And I don't necessarily like, I just felt like he still looked like Superman to me, but I love Man of Steel, like just how that went down, how they illustrated, you know, little things like him using his, there were consequences to him using his heat ray vision. Like it hurt. Like I felt him when he did that. And I was able to see him as Clark in a certain degree and growing up and dealing with the things that he has to deal with. So he's my number 2. And as Trey said, like Christopher Reeve, that dude, no matter how I look at the movies now and I go back and my daughter's trying to poke fun at it, I'm like, look, at the time, you just don't understand. I believe this dude can fly. Yeah, I can watch things now. The funny thing about those movies is they got worse after 2. Like, I don't understand. You get more technology, how the special effects and all the other stuff in it, the fighting, everything got worse.
Yeah.
By the time, like, she always talks about this one kick in the fight scene between Zod and whatever. I'm like, oh, you haven't seen anything until you see the scratch fight with him and Nuclear Man. Like, and then she saw that, and I was like, she was like, oh my God, this is horrible. I'm like, bingo.
Terrible.
It was horrible. So yeah, those my top 3.
Nice. So if you guys agree or disagree with our placement, definitely go ahead and put in your own top 3 Superman, and that is in regards to TVs and movies, and that includes animated. So shout out to Tim Daly. I think there was another voice actor, George Newbern, I think, who voiced Superman, the animated show. Definitely captured it, like, without a doubt. And then now we're going to go ahead.
I agree with that. I guess I'd have to put like a tie with number 3. I got to put him in there because I love Superman animated series. So
the animated was great. It definitely had the great blend of emotion and the fantastic elements that come with Superman's world. I mean, and who can forget, of course, World's Finest? You know, like that was a true to form, which should have translated into a movie. Like that's how you do a Batman Superman meetup. I mean, you got your boy like Superman. I mean, Batman don't really care. He's like, get out my way, and then only Batman would have to try to judo throw Superman on it. You know, and Superman looking like, did this dude just throw me? Like, I just let it happen though.
Yeah, he literally said to him, "I knew you were crazy. I didn't think you were stupid."
Right, and then X-ray him, and then thinking like, okay, I know who you are, but you don't know who I am.
Right, and he was just like,
sure,
yes,
sure, I'm Batman.
Yeah,
then Cassidy just try to steal Lois. Like, I mean, like, dude, only Bruce will do that.
Player, baby, player.
Our friends afterward, we cool though, right? Stay away. I'm good, bro. So we're gonna jump into it with the one shot, y'all, which is the Superman of it all. So this is gonna take a bit, and we're gonna get into it as we talk about it. So, as you all have known, Jay, Trey, and Doc, and of course everyone else outside of Retcon, Superman so far it has become a critical and a commercial success. From what I have here, it shows that right now the and definitely check me now because my stuff might be outdated, but the Rotten Tomatoes score has Superman at 82% fresh, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, 83% fresh of Rotten Tomatoes and 93% for the audience, which so far has beaten the previous Superman movies, Man of Steel. Overall, I'm saying overall, not like just separately, but overall. And right now, it's definitely on track to make its box office money back, without a doubt. So, with all that being said, there still are some gripes about the movie itself. Now, some of them are more about maybe the CGI, a little wonky, maybe. And then some could be about, okay, maybe too campy, maybe it's too hilarious. There are a bit of controversial things about the movie. Now, ones that are very out there, we're not going to speak on yet because we're going to give it time to delve into it as one of our 3 things that we didn't like about the movie. But one I will go ahead and just touch on, and then we'll elaborate later, is something that we probably all didn't see as far as us who know, like we just go to see a Superman movie. We don't go to thinking that it's going to be political or anything like that. We have the unfortunateness of a former Superman named Dean Cain, and he talked as the Superman movie was woke. And his exact words, and I had to make sure I had this because I want to make sure I'm reading it, I'm not misquoting him. But his exact words talking about how woke is Hollywood going to make this character, right? Then he's talked about how much is Disney going to change their Snow White. Why are they changing these characters? For Superman, it was truth, justice, and the American way. Well, they dropped that. They came up with truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Changing beloved characters, I don't think it's a great idea. If you want to create a new character, go ahead and do that. And he says they're talking about it being woke, which is interesting from hearing from someone saying that in his from his background. But I digress on that. So we're going to talk about the Superman of it all. And we're going to start off with just naming the 3 things that we do like about the Superman movie. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot to Doc first.
Can I interject really fast?
Oh, sure.
Whatever Dean Cain says doesn't count. Period. And I found it interesting, whether you agree with them or not. I found it interesting that those comments were made before the movie came out.
Yeah, it was 8 days ago that comment was made. So yeah, the movie came out. It came out for everyone Friday. So yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Keep that. Hold that, Dean. Hold that, Dean. Hold that, Dean.
Hold that, Dean. Yeah, he definitely went outside his purview trying to come at Superman like that. But anyway, we digress. And I'm going to go ahead and say that, as you can tell, out of all of us, Dean Cain was not on our top 3 Superman. So
nope.
Listen, he wasn't in my top 50.
I like watching that show. I never really watched it.
Dean Cain's not in my top 50, and 50 people haven't played Superman.
So that's just saying. So Doc, tell us name 3 things that you liked about the Superman movie.
Mr. Terrific, Crypto, gonna be a toss up between probably Lois and Guy Gardner.
Wow. Okay.
That is it's hard. But Mr. Terrific was like just, terrific. I mean,
yeah.
That's the name, but it just he was the best part of it to me.
All right.
And I love the fact that they shined a light on, like a kind of tier 3 character. I mean, it's almost like why I decided once I found out he was going to be in the movie, I tried to get some books in here that stimulated interest in him, and hopefully he would have lived up to it. And I think he did. And so I liked him, and
absolutely,
yeah.
And as you probably know, the actor went on record saying that this was kind of a redemption for him.
For Darwin?
For Darwin, right.
Was that his fault?
No.
That wasn't his fault. Like you had a gross misunderstanding, and they continue of the X-Men characters. You made Sebastian Shaw uber powerful. You made him like this amalgam of Bishop and him and something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then you nerfed. I'm like, Darwin, He's named after freaking Charles Darwin. The whole point is he can't die.
Right.
His power literally took him out of a fight with the Hulk because they realized you can't win this, so I have to remove you from the situation.
All right. Well,
it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I get that.
So yeah, definitely got his stripes back for the terrific role. So yeah, and I enjoy that, and I think that's one of the things James Gunn knows how to do: take unknowns and shine a light on them to where it'll make you invested in the character. I mean, he's done that with Guardians. Guardians was literally unknown, like to the mass, right? Not anyone, those inside comic books, they know who the Guardians are.
Well, he even changed the lineup because that's not like Yondu is actually
right.
Remember?
Yeah. He just told a story about that. It was actually Disney who changed the lineup. They changed the lineup before they hired him to do the movie. Yeah.
So yeah, that was not like Vance Astro, Yondu. I forget some of the other characters, but it's so when I finally saw Yondu and what he was, I'm like, what in the world? But guess what? They pulled it off. They made it work.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So he did good with Mr. Terrific. What about you, Trey? What's your top 3 things that you liked about the Superman movie?
I would say Superman himself.
All right.
I would say Crypto for sure.
Yeah.
And I'll go a different direction, right? And we can talk about it later. The other thing I liked about the movie is the way it made me feel when it was over.
Okay. Hold that. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear you expand on that. With me, Superman, Crypto, and Lex Luthor. Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. It wasn't because you gotta understand. I'm using, and I'm not. I hate to diss him because I'm not dissing the actor himself, Jesse Eisenberg. I'm dissing his Lex Luthor, right? Jesse Eisenberg.
That was a horrible casting.
Yeah.
Him,
right? But
it was him as an actor. But like you said,
yeah, because he felt more like the Riddler to me than a Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. And when you think about Superman and Lex Luthor, you got to think about how Lex he's this domineering figure, right? Like, I don't care who you are, you got all these powers. Like, I'm powerful myself, bro. Just in a different way. And, I don't know, Jesse Eisenberg's Luthor was a little wimpy to me, and it didn't really match up to Henry Cavill's Superman. Like, what? Nah, I wasn't feeling that. But this, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor, to me, it did stand up. First of all, I love it felt like he had a whole home office calling plays, like calling football plays on Superman or chess moves or I was playing Battleship B4 or A5, just telling it to the Hammer of Barovia, which ended up being Ultraman. And that's Lex. He's calculating, like his intelligence takes it to places where he has to be able to match Superman's brawn with his brain. And I was seeing that happen. Then we saw that how he can be callous over life as long as it matters to hurt. Like he killed that dude who sold Superman the taco.
Hold that
just to make him hurt. That's how much he don't care. Like, that's how gangster Lex Luthor can be. And
remember that.
He's petty. He had monkeys. He had monkeys on Twitter accounts. But I know it sounds outlandish when you say it out loud. But nothing is off the table for Lex when it comes to diminishing Superman's character, his perspective people have on him. He wants to destroy him, not just physically, but all types of ways, right? He wants to bring him down because he doesn't believe that he should have all that power and he should be the center of everybody's attention. So you see that drive him to do these things, especially with the whole turning this one nation against the other, and then you have him and Superman going head on close to the end of it, as they're giving their spiel as to why they do what they do, and you got Lex coming to tears, because anybody knows, like, if you ever been to a point when you're so angry you cry tears of anger. like that was something to me. So I was like, I've never seen that before. you know. And you know, side note, Eve Tessmacher, she's funny as crap, man. I thought her and that Jimmy interaction, and Jimmy was pulling. Apparently, Jimmy can pull. Apparently, but those are my top three that I like. So now we're gonna move on to the three things that you didn't like about the movie. And Doc, it's definitely going to you first. And please keep it at 3 if you can.
I can't. I probably go last.
Please.
There's so many things that were wrong with this movie. Maybe I could just let me say that the Superman was not. He was fine. He's fine.
All right.
And I could potentially, you know, get a chance to see more of him and see him potentially grow.
All right.
Lex, I thought this was a nice, you know, like if I can't have Rosenbaum, I was like, he's pretty good as Lex.
I bet Rosenbaum was good. Who was in the movie apparently?
Right.
Yeah.
And so this movie to me was just bad from the CGI. The CGI stuff, I was just having flashbacks of Cyborg's head not lining up, you know, with his body when the engineer was fighting inside the thing. I have a huge problem with. Okay, what do you guys? What is that an S on his chest?
I suppose so. Yeah.
It's supposed to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. It's a symbol, and it's his family crest.
Well, yeah, me.
Well, yeah, for sure.
It means hope.
I ain't get sorry.
Well, wait a minute now. What? Go ahead.
And so that has been a pretty much guiding principle for a long time. I have never seen an iteration of Jor-El, and the whole point of what happened to Krypton was they got caught up as a society in their hubris and everything else and what they did, and they were supposed to be better. And every time they send them to Earth in whatever iteration that you see, it was, you are to grow. They're good people. They have issues. Don't let them make our mistakes.
Right.
Okay. I get now, and I'm going to send y'all a text. What I get now is that not only are they simpletons, you are to go, you are to rule. Oh, by the way, your mom chimes in. Yeah, you need to start a harem. And I'm like, where's the hope in that? There is no hope. That is contradictory to that symbol that's on your chest, your whole family crest. That doesn't make any sense. That right there is like, that is a critical principle of Superman, and you just crapped on it like big time. Tell me when you guys have ever seen a different iteration of that, unless it was some alternate universe thing that they tried to do. So that's two. And I can go with that. And I'm not talking about doing alternate universe stuff. I'm like,
all right, this is the main.
Come on. Are you supposed to be starting this up?
Yeah. But here's my thing. Here's my only. I don't disagree with you. Mm-hmm. But my only argument to that is, if there's a precedent, even if it is an alternate universe in comic books, even if it is if there is a precedent for them, his Kryptonian parents not being as
altruistic.
If there is, it
check your text.
Is it okay for it, if it's an alternate, is it all right for it to be in
No, because if it's an alternate universe, then what you got right now is Brightburn.
Maybe
Brightburn is so.
No, that's basically what they said.
But you saying Brightburn, that was
super. Okay, you either got Brightburn or you got my other issue with it. You basically just took Nolan from Invincible.
Maybe.
Okay. So what I got from it is not where you're from, is where you're at.
Nah,
That's an oversimplification,
but that's what I got too.
Because his parents raised him.
So
who raised him?
There you go. So now you bring up. See, this is why I can't be limited to 3 because I can go all day. I'm about to put on my cap shield.
No, you can't do
all day. But because you just brought up another issue that I had that Trey brought up earlier.
All right.
We talked about the duality, or he said the triality of him now. Yeah. So just like that, how we always talk about who's the alternate person with Batman. Batman is a real person. Bruce is the alter ego. Sure. Right. Clark is the real person to a certain degree. Superman is the alter ego, but Superman always had a dual set of parents. He had his Kryptonian parents, and he always referred back to them for things. They trained him, they did things in the Fortress of Solitude. But he also had the Kents that nurtured that human side that you talked about. You just took away that whole thing. At the end of that movie, with that horrible, they just put wigs on old people, didn't even make them look younger. They literally just put old wigs on both of those 2 people, and it looked horrible. Okay,
what 2 people?
No. They put wigs on these people to like, and now you just took away that other half of him, which is crazy to me. I think in every movie we've seen it where he's always going to the Clint's and he's going to the L's. Because they have that AI aspect of it to kind of go, okay, he went to Jor-El and Lor-El for answers, and he went to the Kents for answers. He doesn't have that anymore.
So I have a question.
Negated that.
So I have a question.
All right.
And again, I don't disagree with you, Doc. The truth of the matter is, most of the things that you're gonna say, I'm probably going to agree with. To be quite honest.
I'll probably agree with half.
But my question would be, so if we go to Man of Steel,
okay,
right, and we look at the characterization of Jonathan Kent,
yes,
that was terrible.
Right,
because it removed exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Jonathan Kent's whole thing was, don't be that, hide that. As a matter of fact, he was like,
not ready for that.
I understand what you're saying, but he also told him as a kid when he was like, "What should I just let him die?"
I don't know.
With Smallville, we were watching him hold back all the time. Remember that episode about him wanting to play football and he couldn't?
Well, so to me, that's different than saying maybe you should have let those kids die in that bus.
So, and that's the whole thing about this. In every other Superman, people die. He never saves everybody, bro.
I get that, but he saves people that he can. He saves people that he can.
Make it seem like you saved and he saved it. Like even when you said that he was saving squirrels, I'm like, bro, people died. Like over that squirrel, undoubtedly some person died. That in itself is silly in itself. But what I'm saying to you is, along the way, we've always seen him. Do we have to wait for Trey to get back?
Go ahead.
Along the way, we've seen him in the struggle, and that was the beauty of the Kents. The Kents had to teach him how to reel in his powers when they finally kicked in. How he had to learn how to like not hear everything that was driving him crazy, not see everything, not like crush somebody.
Right.
All of these different things. And that's a part of Kevin Costner saying, no, this is restraint. They're not ready for this yet. And you certainly aren't ready for it yet, son. You got some stuff that you have to learn. Enter the L's.
I don't know, man. I mean, I get what you're saying, and I'm gonna keep it 100. Like I was shocked because I was looking for the other shoe to drop, stating that it was fabricated or the message was taken out of context.
So I still think it's possible. Yeah. And I'm leaving that open because if you notice when the engineer was hooked up to the machine, and this is how my mind works. When she first did this whole time I've been like Brainiac. So the two things I thought of was Absolute Power, Queen Brainiac, and I thought of, she said there's something else here. Wait a minute, there's something else. I think that was done to make people think she was talking about there was more to the message. We know there was more to the message. We saw that the thing was cut off. Yeah. I think Brainiac was in there because remember who basically destroyed it? It was Brainiac.
Right.
I think he was in there and he infected her. You saw how when she went up in the air and started rising, her form started changing. I want to go back and actually look to see if I can see his symbol anywhere on her. And so that was it. But then at the end, they made it a point. One, she put all those nanites in him.
Yeah.
I'm like, there ain't no way he coughed up all of that. I think that's going to be an issue. And they made it a point to say she's alive. She's breathing.
Right.
I think she's the key, and I think she'll be Brainiac. And I think with that said, I'm hoping, I'm S'ing on my chest, I'm hoping
for redemption
that the message is going to be Brainiac distorted that message.
But if not, it stands as it stands, man.
If it stands as it stands, it's trash, bro.
I mean,
if it stands as it stands, it's trash. And that's just number 2. I haven't even gotten to number 3.
And what's number 3?
Okay, if we want to storyline, the Kents were morons.
Hold on. You didn't like the authenticity, the country.
That ain't authentic, bro. That was that person. You telling me that person, those 2 people were supposed to people that are supposed to rail him and teach him all this? I have never seen a Kent being portrayed as a simpleton, bro.
I mean, because the country, they should sound country like that. That makes sense to me. I dig the accents. I was like, okay, I like.
It ain't about the accent. It's about him. How she was in that? Oh my God, that was horrible.
You didn't like
that? Was horrible.
Oh,
that
man.
was so bad. It was just, and Trey not back. So that means, guess what? I can keep rolling.
Oh.
I can just keep going until Trey goes. What else? Basically, they stole certain principles that I saw. Every time I saw Ultraman, I was like, oh, that's Black Noir from The Boys. So that whole story between, because I already knew he was going to be under it. You knew who he was going to be under, right? That's what I'm saying. And so instead of, when they made the clone who's Connor, really, instead they take the alternate universe and they boot Ultraman. Okay, but that literally was a scene from The Boys where you had him take off the mask. He was the countermeasure to Homelander. Okay, we have that.
Right.
When we already talked about the whole Invincible thing. Potentially that's a thing. Okay, Batman Lego movie. What happened at the end of the movie? The city came apart and then clink, it came back together. I'm like, what the heck is this? Hawk Girl, abysmal.
What's abysmal?
Horrible.
What's abysmal?
Hawk Girl sat there. They basically did a merger of her, and then they put Black Canary in it. That scream was so annoying and unnecessary. It was ridiculous.
But if you rewatch some of the Justice League episodes, and maybe she's not doing a Hawk.
She had a batter cry.
She's yelling. She's screaming.
She's yelling. She's not screaming. Bro, come on. That's a reach. That Justice League Unlimited, that is sacrilege to Justice League Unlimited and the Hawk Girl in here. That's horrible.
So does it count? Does it matter that that's not the same Hawk Girl?
I was about to say,
no, she was horrible. I don't care if she was the same one. She had several scenes and it all consisted of, here's your next text that you got. What do you think about the first text that I sent you? And so here's the next one. It looked ridiculous. It was annoying.
But the movie isn't called Superman and Hawk Girl. It's called Superman.
We want to talk about Supergirl? What's up, B?
I like it.
But wait a minute. Again.
Hold on, dog. You got too many. We still got it going on around.
You know what? That was okay. This is gonna be my last one for right now. Okay. Right. I got 2. I didn't like, okay, I'm sorry, 2 more. Rex was horrible. He was horrible because Rex, if you know who Rex the character is, whether you take him from the comic books or you take him from Justice League Unlimited, in the comic books, he was an adventurer. He's not a coward, sniveling a coward. If you take him from, Justice League Unlimited, he was a Marine. He was not a sniveling coward, okay? So I had a horrible just issue with him and his characterization, all right? But let's talk about how they keep trying to, I'm not into this whole comparing Snyderverse and whatever verse. Because people keep talking about, oh, it was so light, it was so lovely, it was so such and such. Okay, really? Show me any type of movie that was a Superman where somebody, executioner style, sat in a chair and blew somebody freaking brains out. This is supposed to be PG freaking 13. You know there's a bunch of kids in there who watch this. You talk about blood splatter? I've never seen any Superman movie. The first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve and somebody died. What was it? Lex actually pushed this button that pushed the guy on the train. You didn't see anything. What was the darkest part in Roth's thing? Oh, Lex had a kryptonite shanked him up. Okay. Yeah. Henry Cavill fought at the end. Everybody had an issue with him because he was about to kill people, snapping words. This dude freaking sat up there in a chair in front of all of these people, blew some dude's brains out, body slumped and everything. You can't tell me that ain't dark. I don't care how lively everything else was. That was freaking ridiculous. I was like, whoa.
So wait, I have a question.
Okay, go.
What is the difference between that and Henry Cavill breaking dude's neck and him slumping over? What's the difference?
All right.
What I'm saying to you, that's the whole point. You're talking about something being dark, okay? And that's what he was getting flack for.
So
that's realistic.
Here's my next question. But here's my next question.
In real life, how often do you see people break people's neck like that?
But wait, I don't think
see people hold people, basically kidnap people and shoot people executioner style.
But wait, the issue.
Your problem was the fact that because people are so they've gotten down on the Snyderverse for being so dark.
Yes,
but wait,
then you do something like this. I'm not saying that's not dark. I'm saying don't try to say that this movie is all one when you did something that's pretty doggone horrible.
But wait, no, I disagree with your assessment of the argument.
Okay.
I don't think that people are mad that something dark happened.
No, I'm not saying they're mad, Trey. I'm saying they're saying this thing is this beautiful light.
No. But
this one's too dark.
No, this is my point. It's not that Snyderverse is dark that makes it tough to deal with. Is that Superman was dark. Superman wasn't dark in this movie.
So instead of, because it was Superman that killed somebody.
It's a difference.
I'm sorry. Did Superman kill somebody in the comic books?
He did.
Who did he kill?
Wait, but that's not your argument. Your argument your argument was specifically, at least what I'm addressing, is the Snyderverse dude getting his neck snapped versus Lex shooting somebody in the head. I'm not saying that they're not both dark. I agree with that. And but one is Lex Luthor.
They're talking about Superman's suit was dark. Superman's demeanor.
It was.
Okay, and that's fine with it. I'm fine with his doggone suit being like dark or whatever. What I'm saying to you is don't try to make this about, this movie was dark as a whole. The whole
it was though.
And then you do something like that.
But that was a dark moment. That was a moment. That didn't paint the whole movie. So you
chose not to. Like, that was huge.
Wait, regardless of whether you chose not to, it didn't paint the villain did something dark.
You had a dog running around distracting everybody.
Okay, remove that scene from the movie. Was the movie dark? Remove that scene.
That scene from the movie. No, it was
right. But if you remove Superman cracking dude's neck, the movie was dark.
What else happened? What else happened that was dark?
All the people that died.
So you're telling me all of those people? You're telling me everybody in those buildings?
No, we're not saying. What we're saying is the difference is, but the difference is nobody's saying that they didn't. The difference is,
what's the difference?
I'm about to tell you, Doc. The difference is this: the reason it wasn't that the people died in the Snyderverse, is that it seemed like Superman didn't care. His singular focus was on Zod. That was the whole focus. This movie, Superman, saved people in during those things. That
whole army. He was trying to save that whole team and that army.
No, he wasn't. He saved one dude. When? When? I just watched it. No. This is your argument. When did he try to save the whole army?
Why did they come in? They were like, he is on our side.
At the end of the movie.
No, bro, in that fight, who was he fighting? He was fighting the doggone army because they were coming after him, and he was fighting the Kryptonians. And he had to hold himself in check about the army people until they figured it out.
Wait, that's not what that's not even, my point is Superman didn't save anybody.
How can he? Okay, if you're trying to fight two things and you're basically not.
But now you're saying stuff but that's not a real thing. He didn't save anybody. This this Superman was fighting just as many people. This Superman was fighting.
Superman, when that thing was burning down, he didn't save those people.
What thing was burning down? You're talking about. I'm specifically talking about the battle. When the people
didn't care about anybody in that movie.
During the battle, bro,
that was the argument.
That was
the whole argument is the whole movie. You're telling me
No.
you don't care about anybody in that movie
during the battle. During the battle.
By breaking old boy's neck because he was just about to kill some more people. So
wait, but he didn't have to. That's the whole point.
How he was gonna stop him? Tell me how
he's Superman. Fly, take him up into space. What are you talking about? Come on, man. No, absolutely not. Absolutely, I can't accept that one.
He can fly Batman away. He cannot fly Zod away. And
wait, he literally in a different juncture in that movie rammed into Zod, was flying with him and was beating him in the head.
Zod didn't have his full power yet.
Oh gosh. Okay.
But wait,
was he not wearing the machine? How do you think he beat them the first time? Because he had to take off their things so that they were susceptible to the stuff that he was when he was a kid.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I agree with that. Full power. At the end, they were like, "Okay, we can go now." He wasn't flying him away against his will, bro.
To me, that's convenient. Time
out. Okay, all right, stop. Time.
By the way, I love this.
I do too.
Covered a whole multitude. I'm over here before the Superman movie came out. I'm thinking like, Doc, with my conversations, I thought you didn't really like the Man of Steel. But it seems like in comparison to James Gunn Superman, you're kind of defending it more because
I like the Man of Steel. There are so many things about Man of Steel that I like, including like Fiona. I love her in that doggone movie. Like I love the progression of his powers and him like, hey, you got to do this. And this goes back to what I'm saying there. Jor-El, not Pa Kent, was speaking to him, said, you're gonna have to be stronger. You're gonna have to go past your limits. That's why taking him out of the picture, that's problematic for me.
I get that. I guess my only argument would be, I can't argue against that. My only argument is, man, they took Jonathan Kent out of the picture, Man of Steel.
Right. I like that both parents living in this one. Like that was
because I would argue, as much as Superman may be shaped by what Jor-El and Laura was saying in hologram form. He was raised by the Kents. And I think to the point, like I think the point that this movie was trying to make was he's a good person because he was raised by the kids.
Correct.
Right. And that's
And I liked that interaction between him
it was great.
And Lois. Like how he basically went to that. I just wanted to help people. I was trying to help people. I was prevent people from being killed. And she was like, nah. And he was getting angry. And I can feel that.
Yeah.
I was feeling him like you're missing the point. I was trying to save people. That's all it should. That's the only thing that should matter.
Yeah.
And she was like, nah.
Great way it was made in the movie.
Like that was a good part in the movie.
Yeah. And then not to get you back on a rampage, Doc, but I like Supergirl, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because we know that how it works with them in the comic books, for the most part, is that both of their ships have left from Krypton, but Clark's ship got there before hers, as it was nation.
He was supposed to be the guiding force.
They'll help him and watch over him, but by the time she got there, he was already Superman in adult form, and she still has that teenage mentality, right? And so when I saw that, and she's acting literally like a teenager, just about. I mean, and I saw how she was playful with crypto, and then talked about getting drunk. I mean, okay, so like that might have been different. I'm like,
Superman. I'm sorry, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Right.
That's what everybody keeps talking about. I'm like, whatever, okay.
Right. They dropped the subtitle. Now it's just Supergirl.
Well, yeah. And the thing that I liked about it is, it's really a scene that is not what you think it is. Because when they get into Woman of Tomorrow, they're gonna delve into her issues and they're gonna delve into those things. So, but I get if you don't know that, it's like, man, Supergirl is an alcoholic.
Right. She's an alcoholic. She just looked like she
she had a wild night.
Exactly.
Probably like a rock star.
Exactly.
That's funny.
So girl's gone wild. Here we go.
Funny.
I was ready for her to like flash some people.
will agree with you, Doc, on Metamorpho. I will agree with you on that. That part, it kind of took me aback. You know how he his mannerisms, his characteristics didn't kind of line up with what I had in my head in the comic books of how he Metamorpho is, as well as in the those episodes in Justice League. And I had to delve into the comic book crates because I could not remember that he had a son. And it seems like James Gunn, he does good with this, but it seems like his movies always have some type of cutesy character as like a subplot to help kind of garner emotional investment from the audience.
Bro, that freak baby wasn't cutesy to me.
It wasn't cutesy at all. That thing was horrifying.
That was horrible.
Baby dog, I mean, it still was a baby.
Bro, that thing was. I mean, it was a baby, but
like, who is the mama?
I know you saw her. That was Stag's. That was Stag's daughter. They ended up hooking up.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Hey, how did
that
they
was
look like that?
Bro.
I mean, his powers, man. His powers. Yeah.
Anyway, and so okay, so that goes to your kid being held by some dude in front of you isn't enough for you to snap out of that, but some stranger that's got his brains blown out in front of you. That was the thing that pushed you over the edge.
Yeah. Like, okay, so Lex ain't a man of his word, so he talking about do this or I'll keep your son safe. But you just did that. That means he could flip at any moment.
When did he say he promised he wasn't gonna shoot somebody in the head?
It was implied.
When was it? Like your son should be enough for you. You have Superman, the person that could probably get through this in front of you, and you're telling me you still aren't gonna do anything, and he got your son. I'm thinking about that from a doggone father standpoint. Nah, this is about to go down, bro.
Somebody else was in the cell with the son that worked.
A regular dude. By the way, Superman punched that dude in the freaking face. Why didn't his head come off?
Now, come on. Now, Superman holds back a lot.
Bro.
And
okay.
Unlimited, when he fought Darkseid, he said, all this time I got
You remember this when he fought Grodd? He was like, what are you doing? Concentrating. Oh, crap. Pop. That's what he needed to do to that dude. He freaking punched that dude.
He did punch him. And he did knock his grill all into the camera.
Okay, and so I know I'm not supposed to do this, but if you're gonna, I'm big on sometimes, even though it's fantasy, I love being grounded in a tad of reality. Okay, so if you have the physics and you set out the guidelines in your universe how it's supposed to go down, I think you need to follow that. Okay, and several times in the movie they didn't do that. When they first got into the pocket universe and Mr. Terrific was throwing it down. And he immediately identified that protoplasmic or whatever, river that was flowing was not to be touched, that it was just matter destroying and whatever else.
Right.
Okay. Superman is in it, and I'm going to give you a pass because he's Superman.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Metamorpho's baby was in it.
Technically, it wasn't.
No, that stuff was splashing on him, but that's fine. But
technically, it wasn't.
The doggone Lex fighters that they were getting hit with that stuff, and nothing was happening to them.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah,
nothing. Go back and look at it again. Nothing was happening to those dudes, and I'm like, okay, you just basically put that down, and then you just didn't follow it.
Yeah,
okay?
I didn't even notice.
So then we talk about we're coming up to a black hole. Okay, going to a black hole, or even we're gonna give it was a baby black hole in the form. We know how fast Superman can fly. And we know he could probably pull out of that if he needed to. But they're like, okay, it's probably not happening. He's getting close to it. I'm like, okay, all right. And then eventually they get to it. And he starts blowing. And I'm like, okay. That's all right. Maybe he's blown. Oh, he's freezing the surrounding structures around that black hole. So he's slowing it down so he's be able to pull away from it. He didn't take a big... He just gently blew, pretty much the same as he blew as a dog that was standing up, baby Stitch, that grew to big Stitch. What? And so he blew with the same force, not around it, not to freeze anything, into a black hole, which was the thing that launched him out of it. I'm having flashbacks of Green Lantern making 2 jets to pull away from the doggone sun.
Yeah, I don't.
You're blowing into a vacuum. You're blowing into a vacuum, and that is propelling you. That makes no sense to me at all. That was horrible.
Wow.
That was horrible, bro.
All I know is that Superman's lung capacity is not that of a human. So, he doesn't have to take deep breaths like we do.
That's fine. I'll give you that. He doesn't have to take a deep breath. He's blowing into a vacuum, bro. That's light can escape from. Go for it. You have the floor. Okay, metamorpho. Then you're talking about the physics of it. I can't make a sun, but I can do what I can. I then watch this dude rail off the elements from the sun and make a little sun with solar flares and everything. I'm like, you just said you couldn't do that. And
well, to be fair to that point, he said he could do what he can. I think that's partly why Superman wasn't fully charged after it happened.
Correct.
Now, to your other points, though, I 100% agree with you. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say I hated that entire scene. Hated it. Entire scene I hated.
But my last physics was the building. The building with all of the cars, that building. Oh my! I have so many problems with that. Not the accidents, but then that completely empty bridge.
Don't go in it trying to be a physicist.
But I told you, I have to be like rooted a little bit in, and especially if you define it. If you define it, you need to stick to it because that's what you go off of.
I didn't like that pocket dimension scene at all. As a matter of fact, when they introduced the pocket dimension, I was like, oh my gosh, come on, man.
I mean, because Lex Luthor is that intelligent to be able to create or get into that or find that.
I was thinking it was boom tubes at first with Darkseid.
The only thing that saved the I realized what it was setting up. That's the only thing that saved it for me. By the end, I realized what it was setting up. Right. It was setting up Bizarro World for Bizarro. So Bizarro went off to Bizarro World, and now he's going to, that's what that was for. So I got that. But that whole thing, I was like, come on, man. Is that what we're doing?
I mean, but at the end of the day, whether the physics matched up or not, I can promise you 93% of the people who watched this, who rated it as a great movie, were not hung up on the physics like that.
But here's the thing, though, right? So since I've seen that movie and I want to see it again, I've struggled with whether I thought it was a good movie or not.
Why is that?
I didn't struggle with whether I liked it. I struggled with whether I thought it was a good movie or not.
Right.
So you remember you and I, Josh, we had a discussion about what's the Marvel movie that just came out? Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, yes.
We had a discussion about that movie and I didn't like it.
No,
I didn't like it.
No, with enough action or something, right?
No, my thing was
the touchy feely and hugging.
It was like I just want super people to be super. That's all.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
But I think the Thunderbolts was a way better movie than Superman is.
I'm sorry, what?
I think Thunderbolts was a way better movie than Superman is. But I didn't like Thunderbolts nearly as much as I like Superman.
And here's the thing.
Okay, and then we're gonna go to.
That's fine. I'm actually happy that people enjoyed it because at the end of the day, I love it when people have like a love for comic and it brings more people to learn about people. I love the fact that folks want to learn about Mr. Terrific.
Yeah,
and they may want to still learn about Metamorpho and Guy Gardner. My daughter was like, man, that Green Lantern, he was such and such. I was like, yeah, actually, that's like Green Lantern. I'm like, yeah, actually it is. And she's like, really? I'm like, Green Lantern like before. So I had to explain to her. But then she was like, but anyway, what about that freaking hairdo? I was like, actually, that's correct. And I showed her a picture. She's like, oh, and I'm like, that was correct. And I appreciated that. But that was an education moment for me. And I love the fact that people want to learn and even learn that Hawk Girl ain't that girl. But anyway, I want folks to do that. Now, the downside of it is, did you see that little thing where they talked about, oh, they're trying to credit James Gunn to adoptions for, I can send you this thing about somebody sent me.
Dog adoption.
And I'm like, okay, look at the comment section. That's horrible. Because first of all, if you want a dog like Crypto, you got a problem because that's going to get tired real quick. Trey, you're a dog owner right now. You know how it is.
Oh, I actually own Crypto.
That's what I'm saying. And you know what a responsibility that is. And that's why shelters are filled in the first place, because people get over that cute thing with, and I'm like, just like you said, there's a 500% increase in adopt or request. There's going to be 1,000% increase in returns And that's not fair to those dogs because people don't understand it. And somebody said it in the if you see the comments on that same post, most of them, 95% was, this is horrible. If you need a movie to tell you you should go adopt a dog and whatever, you don't need a pet. Okay.
That's true.
And so, yeah, no, there are things that come out of things like this that's just not necessarily great, but it's a feel-good movie. And if people came away feeling good, that's great. And if it stimulates interest, and this is helping DC because DC needs a win. And if they got their win, you know what? As a comic book salesman, you know I got these doggone DC figures in.
Right, and let them fly off the shelf now. Yeah,
come get them. I'm still gonna be wearing my shirt that y'all go see in a couple of weeks.
So we've talked about the movie pretty extensively as far as the superhero aspects of it all. Is this movie political? Right? I mean, again,
I didn't feel it was. I didn't get any theme that I didn't see in any other movie talking about him being an alien and him not necessarily being human. And
the reality of it is he is an alien immigrant, and he was sent to Earth to help, and he did go up against $1 billion villain. There was a comment here that was a rebuttal, if you will, to James Gunn. Not James Gunn, Dean Cain. And it was a guy who played Henry Danger. So I don't know if y'all ever saw Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And Henry Danger. And he talked about where it's not that Superman is political, it's the fact that we have real life villains.
Right.
Who that kindness and empathy is a weakness. And so I just wanted to kind of bend you guys' ear on that and kind of get your opinion on it. So first of all, is Superman woke? What does that mean? And was it political?
I mean, the way I look at it, if Superman is woke and Superman is political, then Superman has always been woke and Superman has always been political. Because this movie didn't introduce anything that doesn't exist in terms of, Superman is an immigrant. That's just a fact. As a matter of fact, the reason Superman is an immigrant is because the people who created him were immigrants, right? That's why, like, the Superman story is largely the story of a Jewish immigrant. As a matter of fact, one half of the duo was Canadian, so he was an immigrant too, right? So that's the story. In terms of, the closest thing to political is you could argue that Moravia and I can't remember the other one. You can argue that one is Israel, one is Palestine. You can make that connection, but
even though James Gunn said that wasn't the case, that when he did wrote it.
Well, the fact of the matter is things like that exist,
right?
Regardless, right? Secondarily, I at this point, I don't know what woke is. It's a politically charged word. It's a word that one side of the aisle uses versus the other, and it can be either side of the aisle that uses it one way or the other. And let's be honest, it was commandeered at some point from the originators, and it never meant any of that stuff. Although I did see some on Facebook that pissed me off. They had a picture of Michael B. Jordan as Superman and said they should have gone all the way woke.
Oh,
wow.
Man, I was hot. I mean, it was funny. It was funny, but I was hot.
Wow.
But I was hot, man. But anyway, man. If Superman is political now, he's always been political. So I hate that everything has to be brought into the world of political ideology. And I hate that. I'm going to tell you what else I hate. Even more than that, I hate that there's a contingency of people that can't let Henry Cavill go and let something new exist. I think that's the stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah. That's why I had to say my issues isn't with this Cavill versus Corenswet? Corenswet. That's not my issue. It's just like, no. I love Cavill and Superman. I'm not. Those aren't my beefs.
Sure. Yeah.
They have a feel where it's and they take a cut. They take a cut from the Superman movie, and it shows his opening debut, 121 million, and then they cut from the Man of Steel when Henry Cavill is descending from the ground when he first learned how to fly, showing that his opening was 123. And then it goes into that Man of Steel scene where Henry Cavill, Superman, and Zod are clashing. When they clash, and then that big old explosion from the clash happens, and then Zod, who's supposed to be Superman, David Corenswet, he fumbles on the ground, making it seem like, okay, Man of Steel had a stronger opening than Superman regardless. And I'm just thinking like that had to be a Snyderverse fan who messed it up a little bit.
But my thing is, for the people who argue for the Snyderverse stuff, there are two things. I wish you would have went to see the movies when they came out. Number one, if you wanted them so bad, and then and then number two, shut up.
Okay.
That was the comment of the podcast.
Shut up. Hey, we can say that for a lot of the that takes place in this world, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if there's any disappointment that I have, and it's not just Superman, right? Superman just again exposes that we've become such a cynical society, and that we've become we hold so strong to these things that we use to represent our identity, that we don't open ourselves up to anything different than what we think and anything different than what we want. Which is why I made a point to say I probably agree with a large majority of the issues that you have with the movie, Doc. Right. And I don't know if this was a good movie.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, there are people, and I'll give you this. Can it be fun? Because I thoroughly enjoyed Mr. Terrific. And as much as I enjoyed Mr. Terrific, even his scene, like when he's in their camp and he's just basically holding it out, and the same people he just whooped up on are just walking around in their doggone Hawaiian shirts like nothing just happened. Still not I'm like, this, and then coming in there, I'm like, okay, that's dumb. Like, y'all should have been out of there, whatever. There was just this thing where I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed aspects. And like I said, I think he's a fine Superman. I need to learn more about him. I need to see what he can do. But the movie wasn't good to me, and I couldn't enjoy it because of all of those things.
Yeah. I didn't get to go into the three things I didn't like.
Right, and I feel bad about that. Please, guys, tell me the three things you didn't like. You gotta tell me.
I'm good.
I was just gonna go here. I didn't like Mr. Terrific, but I'm gonna tell you why. But I'm gonna tell you why. Because he was talking like a 70s blaxploitation character.
You know what? He is so right.
All I needed him to say was, "Superman, you jive turkey."
Yeah, turkey.
Come on.
He is so right.
That bothered me, man.
He is so right.
Yeah, but he was cool. I agree.
I was like, what is it about him, and who is he talking like that? Yeah. It's just, it is reminding me of something, and maybe it was thrown in with his Afro kind of thing.
Yeah, but I'm like, why does Mr. Terrific sound like Dolomite?
He should have just walked away like George Jefferson.
Yeah. he's a. I ain't let y'all do that. No, don't do that. Like, no, it exudes confidence. Like, you know, especially when
he was like, Superman, did you bring the dog? Come on, man. I was like, why is he talking like that?
Okay, so moving on. Moving on. Does this get you excited for what James Gunn has in store for
No, I'm not excited. I'm a little bit I'm a little scared, actually.
So despite the commercial and the critical success, you're still scared.
No, the critical success, like when they use word critical, they tell claim there are people treating this like this is some generational movie, and they did this thing, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
it's not.
They're like trying to make this like this. It's the cinematic masterpiece.
It is not.
And I'm like,
well, I didn't say that.
No, you're not. But I've seen that, and I keep seeing that, and it's driving me freaking crazy. And that's when I start really like going on. Okay, you want to talk about cinematic, and I just start picking it apart. like from those like reasons, because it's not that. And honestly, if you want to say it, it just screamed the Guardians of the Galaxy. I felt like I was looking at Guardians of the Galaxy Part 4.
Sure, it was
like,
very Guardians of the Galaxy.
It has some Guardian elements. I mean, and it couldn't help at Guardian.
The only argument, I agree with you 100%. The only argument is, at this point, my belief is that they're James Gunn elements. And because we only have so many movies to judge how he makes these things.
The Suicide Squad, you know.
They all felt like Guardians to some degree. I think he has a way of making these movies. I think that because even the Mr. Terrific scene was Yondu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he to that, like, spoke to that, like how it, you know, he likes those type of characters and stuff, and that's how, you know, he kind of worked it. You know what I'm saying? So he even spoke to that. Like he even copped to that. So
yeah.
Bro, I'm not gonna be able to unsee that now that you said that. That's like the Batman and Wolverine.
Thanks, Trey. Thanks.
I can't unsee that now.
Yeah, but I don't disagree that it was a cool scene, but it was 100% Yondu. To answer your question though, does it get me? It gets me excited, and I'm gonna tell you why it gets me excited. Right. Because out of one, James Gunn is not directing all of these movies, right? And then
I heard that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then two, the elements that there are a few things that this movie did for the universe that I appreciate, right? Mm-hmm. One, on one side, character development was trash. But I also understand that his intention was to drop us into a universe that already exists, to introduce us to elements that shows you that this is a wider universe, that there's a universe that exists. So the difference between like Marvel was the only way Marvel made it a universe was in credit scenes, right? When you watched Captain America, if you know the comics, you know the super soldier serum and what it leads to and all of that stuff, and you know that these people exist, but they didn't exist in the world of Captain America. They didn't exist in the world of Thor, which is why even with Marvel movies, I would be like, man, with all of this happened, where are the Avengers? Why are they letting this happen? Right. Well, what he did was he brought characters that exist in this world. He incorporated them into the actual action that was happening. They were fighting in this world. So the character development, I believe, is going to come later, right? So I appreciate the world that he's built. Even at the end with Bizarro, I didn't like the clone thing, but I also appreciate, all right, well, that's Bizarro, and he's going to Bizarro world. So he's coming back at some point. I think the characters that mattered to me, he got them right? I think he got Superman right. I think he largely got Lois right.
I really like this Lois.
Yeah, I think he got them right. So moving forward, when you begin to tell more intimate stories that are more Clark and Lois and those things, I feel like a foundation has been set that's going to allow for those things to be.
So two things. I really need to hear your dislikes, Josh. You're not getting away with this. But then the other part is someone who is a big Superman fan said something about Lois, and I thought it was dead on, but this was my counter argument. He said, I've never seen an iteration of Lois that wasn't just enthralled and enraptured with Superman.
Yeah.
Like this Lois, like, talked back. She gave, like, she was even like, I don't think this should even, like, that was like, I think if you're a Superman fan, that was like a gut punch. Yeah. And I said, look, they had already told you this wasn't them just meeting.
Yeah,
they had been together for at least 3 months. So the newness part, that was over with.
That's done.
And this is a relationship, and this is what happened. Yeah. So I actually appreciated that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I no glasses because, and my wife, as I told her about it, she appreciated it too because she never understood how Lois, who's so smart and intelligent and who has a thirst for the unknown, could allow some glasses to fool her into thinking Clark Kent and Superman are not the same. So I like when James Gunn did that subtle nod of hypno glasses, which originated in Superman issue 330, which I was able to get for $5, that talks about how those hypno glasses does alter the perception of people to where they can't make the connection between Clark in the glasses and Superman without the glasses. I thought that was really neat, and I've never seen anyone else do that, where you have Smallville, and they talk about where Clark has to work on making himself small so that people don't look at him and bring a spotlight to him. So I thought that was unique and clever and a nice little easy way to hit the naysayers with this is how they can't tell Clark and Superman are one and the same. You know,
and that came from Superman Birthright. That's what I try to tell people to read that story. It's really good. It talked about so many elements, and it talked about this is why I have a problem with the Kents in this movie, because Martha was the one who taught him, and it was a powerful scene. She was like, Clark, you need to learn how to be unassuming. You need to disappear in front of, like, right in front of people. And it was like that. It was not that lady. So once again, you have the L's teaching them something, and you have the Kents teaching them stuff. And those people were not teaching him jack squat.
Well, here's the thing. We don't. So the only argument I have to that is in this movie, if you separate it as a singular thing, yeah. But what was established was like, we actually don't know what they taught him because we didn't get to see that in this movie. So those are things that I think that's what I liked about it, because coming from this movie, there's so many stories that can be told because we haven't, that could be an entire movie, right? That could be a whole thing. One of the things that James Gunn said that I appreciated, he was like, they asked him why he didn't do an origin thing. And, typically the response is, well, we've seen this a million times, right? Right. But his response was actually, look, man, when I started reading comic books, I didn't start at issue 1. I started at issue 275. Right. And so when I opened this comic book, it was already going on. Right. So it allowed for discovery. And I think, honestly, that's what I liked about the movie. The things, ultimately, this is what this is the divide. Right. For people who have legitimate reasons to dislike it and people who have legitimate reasons to like it, because it's a whole bunch of stuff out there, fluff that isn't real. Right. If the things that mattered to you mattered enough, then you liked it or you disliked it. Right. Right. And for me, again, I don't think it was a good movie. I don't think it was, as a movie. It wasn't a good movie. As an experience, I loved it. Because when I walked out of the thing, it was something about me that was refreshed to see a superhero, particularly Superman, who just wasn't crying all the time about himself. Okay. And it was like, man, this dude, as much as you can talk about the graphic nature of Lex Luthor shooting the dude in the head, Superman's response was a Superman response. He cried though, Trey. but it wasn't about him. It wasn't about him. It was at the loss of life.
I'm gonna cry if somebody gets shot in the head. Superman or not.
And so even there was another point that was emotional for me. And I'm not an emotional dude. But the reason Superman ended up in the Pocket universe is to go save Krypto. And when he was talking to Lois about it, Lois was essentially bro, it's a dog. And Superman's response was, yeah, and not even a good dog. He was but I know that wherever he is, he's alone and he's scared. I like that. And that was enough for Superman to go save him. I like that. So it was that stuff that was just oh man, yeah.
Yes. Right. Or we're ready for the James Gunn universe, ready or not, because we got Supergirl coming, we got Lanterns coming, we got Clayface coming. Interestingly,
which will be a horror movie, from what I understand.
Before a Batman movie. But
Did you give your 3 yet? Did you give your 3 yet? The 3 dislikes.
I mean, we running so long, man.
Nah, man, you can just rattle them off real quick.
Orpho didn't like his it's kind of weird, that was kind of weird to me. I mean, even though you've talked it to a lot, and even though I respect the decision made about it, no, I didn't originally like the Jor-El Laurel talking about he needs a harem. Man, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what a harem was until they got it. I was like, what's that? Heirloom? I thought it was heirloom, like bunch of wives. Okay, okay, got it. And then I don't know. I'm sorry. I liked it and I thought it was a good movie. I really couldn't tell you what else. Okay, maybe Perry White didn't get enough love. That was it. He
wasn't a good Perry to me. I thought Lawrence Fishburne was a better Perry.
But here's the thing. I don't know.
We didn't get to see him be Perry at all. It was just
don't call me Chief. He felt like he was playing, like he didn't feel like he was truly acting. He felt like he was mocking it to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I tell you, man. I mean, and honest with you, Lawrence Fishburne's Perry was straight at best, but it wasn't like really fleshed out to me. The Perry fleshed out was a Smallville Perry White that I really enjoyed. And it don't matter whether he's black or white. It's just a matter of the character and how you can capture him. But
I didn't realize that they called her Miss Tessbacher.
Yeah,
because I thought that was cool because they just kept saying Tess. That's cool because I felt like she was a nice mix of Miss Tessbacher and the chick from Superman 3. There were two supposed bimbos, but they were smart.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And I love
that was a nice little nod.
Yeah.
Jimmy's interaction with her was hilarious. And I love the fact that she kept streaming everything. And I mean, there was to me, there was more good things than bad things. So, and they didn't weigh me down. But listen, to you out there, tell us what you think. Tell us what you thought about the movie. What were the good things you loved about it, the things that you could have done without it? Do you believe that the movie was at all trying to be political, or are people just hyping things up or being hypersensitive? Just let us know. Like, comment, subscribe. And before we say peace out on the podcast episode, Doc, what comic books do the good people need to look out for?
You know what? Right now, there is, I think, the big book that I'm like, but it has nothing to do with any type of superhero or anything. It is this book called Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Oh my goodness. I learned about it because of the new series that came out. And, right before we sign out, I'm gonna bring one of the trades up and hold it.
All right.
But it is
this. Bars beneath the trees.
It ends up being this really, the best description of where cute meets horror or terror. And it's essentially about this serial killer bear in this town. You turn your face up, but everybody, I found out about the second series and like, whoa, look at this. This is crazy. So we missed the complete first series. So I went back and ordered the trades. It was one of those things where I was supposed to read the issue that coincides with the first issue, and I was done. I couldn't put it down. And somebody else who was like, oh, this is my nighttime reading, 2 hours later, they were like, okay, I'm done with it. Like, the book is like really well done. And so I've been telling everybody about this book. Of course, it's for adults. But it's called Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I'm gonna go grab this real quick. So
wow. Beneath the trees where no one sees. That say that 5 times fast. And for those out there, there's also some good Mr. Terrific books to read up on. I do believe, and the doc will probably make sure I'm honest on this. There's going to be a Mr. Terrific miniseries that's coming out. Then, of course, Mr. Terrific, he in the comic books was a member of the Justice Society of America.
Yep, your job, turkey.
Yeah,
sucker.
On Justice Society of America for a lot of Mr. Terrific spots too. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see.
Yeah. You have to watch it because the kids be like, "Oh, this is cool," but no, that's a bloody bag that she's dragging. And so it's finally and Patton Oswalt, from Spencer from he think he does Money Shot, but from King of Queens. Finally, murder and forensics are adorable. That's how, and it got awards. So Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Check this out. Oh, and if you're into it, Post Malone got a new comic called Post Malone's Big Rig. Go on the second printing already. Yeah. Also, don't reading right here.
Wow. How the entertainment business is getting into comic books. I mean, you had Keanu Reeves
with Berserker.
Right.
Yep.
Then, I thought I saw The Weeknd with a comic book at one point.
Oh, really?
Child or Stardust or something. No, I think it's Star Child. Don't give me the line, but and I think I'm the guy who played the Riddler in the Batman. He also Riddler was a Year One.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Paul Dano.
Right. I think Kevin Smith he wrote the latest Amazing Spider-Man annual as well. So it seems like the comic book world. And then I think somebody else started, Charlemagne the God tried to start a comic book company.
Yeah,
really.
Thinking, imagine the times where I used to get picked on for reading comic books in middle school, and now here they are, big business, everybody into them.
I just want everybody to know we came over Retcon before all of that.
Yep.
Boom. Facts.
Those boys, they were hustling.
Proof. Awesome. Well, listen, y'all, we really appreciate y'all tuning in. Please continue to follow us, like, comment, and subscribe. We want to hear from you. Continue to reach out to us. And to those who have, thank you so much. We're definitely paying attention. We're responding to your comments. We ain't just glazing at them. We're like, okay, that's nice. No, we are very interactive. So please let us know what you feel, what you like, what you don't like, and we can definitely talk about it. Doc, tell them that address where you at, man. Whoever's local.
427 East Catawba Street, Suite B on the second floor in Belmont. Okay. So this is history though, right here. This is the most lively. This was the most fiery episode.
Yeah, this was great. This was great.
The man brings that out of people, apparently.
Did you see Josh's face the whole time? Josh was like,
look. I mean, truth be told, both of y'all were kind of saying things I was going to say.
But let this be an example of how to disagree with somebody.
Yeah. Because you saw at the end of that, me and Trey just laughed it off and was like, this is awesome.
Somebody talk about the outside, you know what I'm saying?
All right. In the spirit of Mr. Terrific, high five on the black hand side. Peace out.